This isn't going to be one of those videos where I'm sat here um, trying to elicit or teach you a lesson or something like that. Maybe it will be, I don't know. But I just wanted to talk because I recently have come across an understanding about something that I think is very important in life. And that is the fact that when you are trying to be a high achiever, a lot of us will try to work very hard, that will work our asses off. We will uh, reduce our sleep, we will stop everything else, and we will just focus on pushing as hard as we can towards our goals. And a lot of times we put ourselves in strenuous situations. We tense up quite a lot, everything gets stiff. Our eyes hurt, our traps hurt from being so stiff. We feel like shit through most of it, but we tell ourselves, no, we need to grind through it, we need to push through it, we need to push through this adversity. And for the longest time in my life, I agreed with that. For the longest time in my life, I would always just tell myself, just keep going, just keep going, keep pushing. You see all of these like motivational videos and motivational quotes where people are just like, you know what, keep going. You're at the edge. You're going to change soon. Everything will work out for you. Keep pushing. And it's like, yeah, I get that, buddy. Like, I get the fact that you want me to keep pushing. I get the fact that people think pushing is the only way. Forcing life to obey you is the only way. I've been seeing so many YouTube titles about how to force life to obey you and shit like that. And it's like, you know what? I might just title my video that as well. How to force life to obey you. Anyway, but yeah, it's like most people just focus so much on pushing as hard as they can. And if it were true, if everyone could just push as hard as they can, they will achieve their goals. If that was true, then most people that work really hard in their lives will be successful. Granted, it's not like the right business models. It's not like it's the right thing they're doing, right technique, whatever it may be, right? But sometimes pushing too far and trying to force life to obey everything that you do and trying to like dig it out of the mud and trying to be this like hard ass that's just sat there like, I will take what life gives me, I will take what I fucking need to earn. Being that is great, honestly. It's a fantastic pursuit. I think it builds so much character, and I've been doing that for so long until now. And one of the things that I've realized lately is that the more strain we put on achieving something, the more pressure we stack onto ourselves, which we've already known. But more often, that pressure is often mental. But as I'm growing older, I'm realizing that compared to when I was younger, I'm able to recognize signs of physical strain on myself. I'm able to recognize times when, you know, my body just doesn't cooperate with me, or it just gets sick. I suddenly fall sick out of nowhere after pushing myself for so long, or like my body forces me to take some breaks here and there because it's just not able to handle a lot of stuff because I'm pushing so hard. My brain is on like a 24/7 fucking drive to do something fucking anxious. It's basically like I'm a crackhead and I'm just constantly stimulated by my need to progress, my need to grow, that I'm pushing myself no matter what. And sometimes the right thing to do is to instead pull back. I'm starting to believe in a philosophy right now. I don't know if this will change in the future, but I'm starting to believe in a philosophy right now where instead of forcing life to obey you, forcing the currents of life to go in your direction, that if you were to simply just pull back and observe and gain some perspective on where your life is heading, what you are genuinely attracted to at this point, what is motivating you, what is driving you, and you flow with life while having fun, that life would probably be a lot more fulfilling and a lot less strenuous. And the idea of life is to live, right? I know some people are sat here talking about, yeah, you know what? My life is hardship. I want to embrace hardship. I want to put myself through pain. I'm a hard ass. But the thing is everybody wants to live a satisfactory life. Everybody wants to live a fulfilled life. And fair enough. No, honestly, hard work is always going to be necessary. You are going to have to work hard. You are going to have phases of your life where you will have to push through a lot of things. But in the overarching scheme, in the overarching like path of life, you do need to pull back. You need to pull back, observe, You need to see where life is taking you right now. You need to flow with your life as well. You need to make the mistakes that life is sometimes asking you to make. You can't just say, you know what, I have all of these like mistakes that I could make right now. I have all of these things that I could do. I could go out and live and I could party and I could do all of these things. But, you know, that's detrimental for my future. I need to sit here and work. I need to work my ass off. I need to work, 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 work to the point where I become like a donkey that's just working 24/7. I've got nothing else going on in my life. And frankly, other than progress, I'm not aroused by anything else in my life. And frankly, I want to build a multidimensional life. I want to be able to experience all of these things in different phases and seasons of my life. I don't want to be a one trick pony where I'm sat there working until I'm 80 years old and then I'm sat there like, oh fuck, I didn't get to do anything else in my own life. And this is just priorities, by the way. I know some people want to be very work minded, and fair enough, that's your choice. Go ahead. But that's not how I think. I want to live. I want to grow. I want to have experiences. I want to have hardships as well. I do. But sometimes pushing yourself isn't the answer. Sometimes you need to listen to what's going on. You got to listen to your body. You got to listen to what's going on. You got to listen because what your brain is unable to tell you as a voice, your body tends to manifest. When you're pushing yourself too hard, there's a reason a lot of people tend to get sick. There's a reason people tend to develop stuff like autoimmune diseases or cancers later on in their years. It's almost always stress related. Sure, you have carcinogens and you have like free radicals and shit like that. 100% you do. But even if this feels like pseudoscience, a lot of what your life ends up turning out like is so heavily stress and cortisol related. That is what will trigger a chain reaction that will escalate and catalyze everything else moving forward in your life. That if you don't learn how to manage it, you'll end up achieving a lot of things in your life. You might end up achieving what you want in life, sure, but you won't be able to experience life. You won't be able to live. So sometimes you've got to pull back. You've got to let yourself heal. You've got to take a couple steps back before you pounce. And that's a lesson that I've learned recently. You could attribute this to so many scenarios, whether that's to overworking yourself towards a business, whether that's to the point of, not giving a fuck about what you look like, what you feel like, what your family thinks, what your friends think, whatever it is. I honestly suggest you don't care about what anybody thinks. But, to the point where you become this like autist that's just only focused on work, 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 because you think that's an escape out of your life, and potentially could be, sure, but that's one path to getting to where you want to. And the more you grow up, you start realizing that there's so many paths you can take. The amount of paths are endless. But you don't even get to see all the paths if you don't pull back. You've got to pull back every now and then. You've got to judge the chessboard. You've got to judge your view. You've got to see what's at stake, what everything has to offer, what each path has to offer. And then you make the right choice. Then you make the right decision. Don't sit there and be an idiot. Don't sit there and be a dumbass and go, yeah, you know what? If I just work, my life will change. No, it won't. Working won't fix the fact that when you look in the mirror, you don't like yourself. Working won't fix the fact that you feel like your social needs of feeling loved or anything like that is not fucking met. Working doesn't fix the fact that when you look in the mirror, you're disgusted by how out of shape you are or how unhealthy you feel just walking around on a daily basis. Working doesn't fix that. Sometimes the answer to things in your life is pulling back. And pulling back actually soothes life into obeying you. It doesn't force it, but it soothes life into obeying you because you're flowing with it. You're not going against the current, you're swimming with the current. Think about it. What's easier? Swimming against a current or swimming with a current? Swimming in the same direction as a current or swimming against it? Swimming against it is an uphill battle in life. And some people find glory in glorifying that it's an uphill battle. But, bro, look around. Maybe in order to get to the destination you want to get to, you don't need to take an uphill battle. Maybe all you needed to do was just pull back and go in the direction that you're supposed to go in. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the view, enjoy the fucking path. Make the path enjoyable, because we damn well know that the destination isn't fucking enjoyable either. We tend to lose interest in a destination as soon as we reach it. I hope that makes sense to you. You tend to lose interest in what you've built, what you've worked on, because the journey matters more to you than the destination. So find a way to make that path fulfilling as well. Make it fulfilling. Don't make it a soulless, draining, life expectancy reducing journey for yourself. Just flow with it. Flow with it. And you see how life takes you. You see that life was taking you on that path anyway. That's what I'm trying to practice in my own life right now. I've been such a hard ass for so much of my life where I've just brute forced things into my own life. I've brute forced my way into making sure life obeyed me, but at what cost? I put myself in holes that I had to dig out of after. And if there's a better path, if there's even a chance at a better path, I want to know what that is. So if you're in a similar situation and you feel like you're working your ass off, but things just aren't fucking working out for you, you're pushing yourself beyond your limit, but things aren't working out for you, sometimes the answer is to just pull back. Sometimes all you need to do is just pull back, assess what you've got in front of you, and then take the steps that are necessary. That's all for today. I hope you use that. Remember that. Flow with the current, not against it, and see where life takes you.